think it's time to talk about Deshaun Watson after Sunday's horrible performance. I posted this on Sunday during the game. Is it safe to say the Deshaun Watson experience is over? And quickly, let's go back to the recap of that Dallas Cowboys game where they lost 33-17. Not even close. Probably didn't even deserve to score 17 points in that game. And let's look back at Deshaun Watson's phenomenal performance in this one. 24 of 45, 169 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, a 51.1 QBR. He also had 5 carries for 39 yards. Longest was 16. Pathetic. And not saying that, Dak Prescott across the, on the other side played spectacular either. Did good enough. Certainly didn't turn over the ball. But for Deshaun Watson, this has been the routine discussion since he's gone to Cleveland. And let's once again remind everyone the massive contract that he signed. He signed a 5-year, $230 million, fully guaranteed money back in 2022. And once again, let's look back into his 3rd year with Cleveland. Mind you, again, 3rd year in Cleveland. And this is the performance that he put up. I'm not saying that you look at most of the other quarterbacks in week 1, certainly did not play well. Kirk Cousins, Dak statistically doesn't, not certainly eye appealing in this case, but Deshaun Watson, when you watch the game, is just horrific. And I'm not going to sit here and say I watched the full game, watched bits and pieces of it, but when I saw Deshaun Watson play, to me, it looked like that. If you didn't even know anything about football, Deshaun Watson looked like a rookie. He looked completely lost. His throws were absolutely horrible. Decision-making was bad. He is a shell of himself, of what he was all the way back 4 years ago in 2020. And I also want to bring up, too, about his stats since entering Cleveland in 2022. In 3 years, now this might shock people, he has only played 13 games. Let me repeat that. He has only played 13 games in 3 years. I want to remind people in the last 3 years of NFL seasons, there's 17 games, 51 in total, regular season, counting. He's not even played a full season of games. He's 8-5, record-wise, not too bad. He has a completion percentage of 59.1, bad. Over 2,300 yards passing, mediocre. 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. And also sacked 43 times as well in Cleveland. This is horrible. There's no way around it. It is pathetic of the Deshaun Watson era in Cleveland. And the biggest mistake, no doubt, is going back to the Baker Mayfield decision. You look at 2018 first overall pick. I'm not gonna say he lived up to expectations. He did lead him to the playoffs and they gave him their first playoff win in a long time at that point. You look at also too the quarterbacks they passed up, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, in that group, that class as well, 2-time MVP, and also one of the top, worst case, certainly the overrated status has been put on him, but no doubt top 3, top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Both of them, you can argue. And they passed over that for Baker Mayfield. The last year he was there, he was banged up with a shoulder injury, did not play well. They ended up deciding to move off of him and trying to go all in Deshaun Watson, which he was phenomenal in Houston his last year. Team around him wasn't that great, but played well. A couple years off because of the scandals, if you want to say that, the accusations of sexual assault. Was suspended for half the season, or a little bit more than half the season. His first year there, played a few games, looked rusty, of course. Second year in, not too much improvement. Got injured. Not too long into the season against Baltimore, was out for the rest of the year, and now we are into 2024's 3rd year. And you look at Baker Mayfield and what he's done. Now, certainly not played well in Carolina, but you look at how the organization has been for quite a while now, before and after he's been there. It's been horrific. So, can't really put too much blame on Baker Mayfield. What did Mayfield do afterwards and going to the Rams for a short stint and finally landing in Tampa Bay? Played phenomenal. Pro Bowl caliber. You can arguably say top 10 quarterback last year. This year, in game 1, what did he do against, albeit against the Commanders? 24-30, 289, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Absolutely phenomenal. Night and day of what Deshaun Watson has been. Let's not withhold ourselves of this. Deshaun Watson is a horrible quarterback. And it might be crazy to say if you told someone back in 2020 and 4 years from now, it would be, it would be a horrible thing to have Deshaun Watson as your quarterback. The vast majority of starting quarterbacks out there would be a much better option than him. People would probably call you crazy. It's insane because of how well he was in Houston, how electrifying he was. I mean, it's a little bit overboard with that, but a great quarterback. Certainly made fantastic plays, helped that franchise find their stable franchise quarterback. He wanted out, and of course, again, we have the scandals with that as well, the accusations, however you feel. And then coming out after the game, Deshaun Watson is being sued for an accused sexual assault and battery while on a date in October 2020. This is posted by Dov Clement I'm reading off of. So once again, the accusations and the drama come back again. Not only that, there's rumors of him making burner accounts defending himself and his team. On top of that, and it's a circus there. It is. This will go down in history for me as one of the worst decisions, one of the worst trades in NFL history of what they gave up to give to the Houston Texans, the money they signed Deshaun Watson, and the expectations of what Deshaun Watson was supposed to be. He has been horrible to the point that many people are calling for Jameis Winston to start over Deshaun Watson. And the problem is too, they are stuck with him. I don't have the exact numbers. I don't know how much longer they're stuck with him for. But there's a lot of money tied into him. Certainly that's not going to be the cap hit. But you look at the next 2 years, 72.9. Sure enough, they're going to spread that out and make that a lot less. This year he's a 27.9 cap, $1 million cap hit. They have a void in 2027. So 3 more years. Or he's a void or he's an unrestricted free agent. If that's the earliest, they're in big trouble. Stuck with him for 3 years, or if they want to take the Russell Wilson route, the Stephon Diggs route, and eat a lot of dead cap, that's certainly a possibility. If it just gets too horrible. There was another video that was put out there where an offensive lineman for the Browns refused Deshaun Watson's help to get up from the ground, and I think that really screams the dilemma and how Deshaun Watson is there and how he's viewed there. Maybe I'm, it's me, me being a little overreacting to that and not being plugged in fully as compared to Browns fans, but this is horrible. And I think the biggest loser in this, no doubt, is Browns fans, because they've had to deal with this dysfunctional organization for 20 plus years of not being able to find a franchise quarterback. They finally get one in Baker Mayfield and what he's shown in Tampa Bay, and they like all of them because they thought they can get something better. And surely maybe Deshaun Watson did look great at that point. Certainly, if you compared 2020 before to Baker Mayfield at that point, many people I think would probably say Deshaun Watson was the better quarterback and is the better quarterback. Ever since then, it's not even close to being a Baker Mayfield being far better than Deshaun Watson. And it just, I don't know if it's just Watson sitting out for too long, in those almost 2 years, around 2 years of not playing. Is it his attitude? Does he just not care? He got the money. He's secured. Does he not care at all? I don't know what it is. I mean, certainly injuries are piling up. The shoulder injury was a big one. There was soreness, right before the season started. There was shoulder soreness. I think arm soreness that he suffered from, obviously, his season-ending injury from last year against Baltimore. I don't know what it is. It's a complete. As Deshaun Watson, as the player, you want to feel bad. Not seeing the person. Probably not a good person off the field of certainly what he in the spotlight of what he's accused of doing. But as a player, as a talent, it is sad just seeing that of how far he's fallen from what he was in Houston to what he is now in Cleveland. I mean, it's sad. Again, it's a combination of everything: injury, his attitude, his will to want to play better. I don't know. I mean, at some point in time, it's the excuse of the rust, still having a rust on him, still trying to come back from the 2-year hiatus. That's running out. I'm sorry, I think it's run out. I get it's been bad luck with the suspension. He had to deal with his first year there, the injury the second year, and it's really enough you have this year as well. But again, I think right now it's run its course in my opinion. I know you haven't had a big sample size, only 13 games since he's been in Cleveland, which is horrible. And like I said, 51 games is the max amount in the regular season the last 3 years. 13 out of 51, absolutely horrible. Now, of course, that's not factoring in yeah, it's me counting the 17 games in the season. So I don't want, let's get a little bit, a little bit of mixed numbers. But is there a good chance that he's going to even play the full 2024? As my apologies, that's kind of me assuming that he is for the projecting 2024. But is he even going to finish 2024? I mean, how many more games is it going to be? Is he going to get to 20 games in total in 3 years? I mean, at one point in time, when does Jameis Winston step in? I mean, certainly they have no choice in, again, going with them because the money is tied to them. They have to make this work, or else it's going to be a complete disaster. That it's already a disaster enough, but they have to find a way to justify it. They have to find a way to make it work out. And it's unfortunate for Browns fans. They have to watch this. They have to watch this circus of a team play. And it sucks because they have phenomenal talent on there. Myles Garrett, Amari Cooper, offensive line, Wyatt Taylor, Nick Chubb, who will be coming back in a few weeks. They have talent there. Certainly much more players I haven't named. Denzel Ward. They have the talent. They certainly have a talent. It's just it's always the quarterback position. And they had it. They had it. If they could have stuck with Baker Mayfield after the 2021 season, maybe things could have been different. I don't know if Baker Mayfield would have been the Mayfield he is now with the Buccaneers, but it's unfortunate. And again, I think the biggest loser of all this for the Deshaun Watson era is the Browns fans having to deal with this, and now they have to go into week 2 hoping that he can turn it around, as they've been hoping for weeks and years now of doing. So we'll see how Deshaun Watson plays in week 2 of the regular season. Hopefully the bar is already set low enough, so I don't think he can really fall farther down from that. Week 2, they do play against Jacksonville, which also blew a lead against Miami in week 1, so we'll see. Maybe that is an easier game for them to go against, but we'll see what happens with them in that one.